Do you ever find yourself thinking about who would win in a fight between Goku and Superman? Hi, I'm James Gavsey, and on the Who Would Win show, me and my co-host Ray ignore anything important happening in the outside world and debate fictional battles between characters from comics, movies, and video games.
We got a new show every week, and almost always am I the winner.
Yeah, not true, Ray.
In the past, we've discussed such matches as Captain America versus Darth Vader, Solid Snake versus the Iron Giant, classic matchups like RoboCop versus Terminator, and even the Muppets versus Sesame Street.
That one was crazy. So if you're a fan of geek culture and love a spirited debate, check out the Who Would Win show wherever you get your podcasts, or check us out at whowouldwinshow.com.
Hello, I love you, won't you tell me your name? Okay, welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast, a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures. Oh, man. Yeah, I tell you what a weekend. It seems like forever ago when we last spoke. But, my God. Thursday finished up, and then Friday I had some not the best of the Eric Zane Show podcast material so that I could go up to Fear Bunker North. And, an incredible upgrade on what I have there. And what I have there is not a lot. It's a 70-year-old trailer on a piece of property and a power pole. And then that's it. It runs electricity into it. And then as years went by, more and more people grow up. And then now we have a situation where everybody wants to come up there and there's no place for them to stay. So they do things like other family members, extended family members, they might get a little trailer and bring it up there, but there's no place to plug it in. So, and then you add into the mix charity scam Mike got the rug pulled out from under him with the property that his dad owned about a mile and a half away. His dad suddenly said, I don't want to keep it anymore, and sold it. So now poor Mike, his lovely wife, my stepsister Elizabeth, and their two children, they're out, So I said, well, just do whatever you can. I mean, you can stay with us. We didn't have a place to stay. And then a buddy of his actually gave him a travel trailer. Some buddy of his is, I guess, rolling in dough, said, we don't use this. You can have it. Now, it's not brand new or anything, but it's definitely perfect. Well, it's the best that he's going to be able to get. So stand by. I got to drink this coffee. I can't let it cool too much. Stand by. Almost put a little bit too much in there, and it came out my nose. It's always painful. So now, in addition to my old trailer that's there, there are count them, five units that need to be on the property so that everybody has a place to stay for the big Memorial Day weekend. How the hell are we going to do that? Well, my eldest stepsister, Susie, or Sue, I call her Sue. Everybody calls her Susie. I call her Sue. Her husband, Jim, has the acumen to be able to, work on electrical boxes and shit like that. And so he comes up with a plan to make the property just like like an RV park, like with a post in the ground and a place to plug your shit in. I go, how are we going to do that? He goes, I'll figure it out. He literally drew it up on a napkin. Draws it up on a napkin, and says, "This is how we can do this." So, leading up to it, he's like, "We need a trencher." I said, "What is that?" He explains this device. It's called a ditch witch, which is a great name. I mean, it digs these. It's like a giant chainsaw for the earth. I posted a clip of charity scam Mike, my other brother-in-law, using it. It just cuts into the earth like hot knife through butter. It's awesome. And it digs like a 5-inch wide trench. So you need that because there's going to be wires going from the power pole into the ground. We're putting wires in the ground. I'll spare you all the gory details. I don't want to bore you or anything like that. I mean, that's usually the goal of the Eric Zane Show podcast. Don't bore these people. But the daunting nature of the work to get all of this, it kind of put my brother-in-law, Jim, Stress Ball Jim, in a spot where he was all business. Like, he's so hyper-focused that I don't even want to talk to him because he's so, all right, let's get this done. Because he comes, okay, I get up there Thursday with Charity Scam Mike. We go to some towny bar called Swamp. I'm not kidding you. It's called Swamp in Frederick, Michigan. And he goes, hey, when we get there, there's a couple that's always there. They're regulars. I go, yeah? He says, we call them Jeepers Creepers. I go, what the fuck do you, huh? He says, I went there with my buddy, Danny. And, hey, nice to meet you. Hey, just small talk with regulars at the bar. Mike is extremely affable and friendly to every soul that he meets. He says that, and that, they look like typical people in this neck of the woods of Michigan. Various scars on their face, mismatched shoes, eating with their hands, like they're eating spaghetti with their hands. That's a normal person in this part of Michigan. And then they said, hey, we got a place just up the road. This is what Mike told me. They said to him, lots of booze. Why don't you guys come over the house and play some pool? And in Mike's brain, he's picturing this scene from Pulp Fiction when the dude calls up and says, spider caught a fly. Calls up Zed, So to avoid being murdered, nah. So we go to the towny bar on Thursday night. Pretty good turkey Reuben there at Swamp. Nothing too ridiculous happens. Go back. Bright and early Friday morning. There's Jim. Stress Ball Jim to get to work. And we have, on Thursday, went to another racist community called Kalkaska and picked up the Ditch Witch. So we're ready to go. Mike, I think on Thursday he consumed the equivalent of like 13 or 14 beers. The staggering amount of booze that this guy can put away is fucking nuts. So he gets up. He didn't seem hungover. Now, that would kill you or me. But this guy is superhuman. Jim gets up there, and he gets right to work. Mike gets ready, starts cutting into the earth, hot knife butter, Ditch Witch, boom, boom, boom. Now, I have no idea what is going on there. I have no expertise, so I decided all I wanted to do was be the guy standing next to Jim, my electrical guy, and getting things for him. Extra pair of hands. I'm standing next to him, holding up my hands. He's like screwing pieces of wood onto the power pole where the box is going to be because he actually had to move the box. In fact, let's back up. Like on your on your power to your home, you got that fucking meter. It's got glass around it, and then in the summer it's spinning around really fucking fast because you're using all that energy. He had to bust into that. He takes that off, and I'm looking at at the inside of that. And he goes, don't touch these two. Those are the lines coming in. Those are hot. What? He ends up, so I'm just standing next to him like he puts a screw into the wood board that's going to hold the box. And I've got another screw waiting for him. That's what I'm doing. My job, since I have no skill whatsoever, Mike runs the ditch witch. Jim does all the technical shit. And my job is filling up the trenches. Like, the wire's all laid, and now we have to bury the wire. By the way, I do know that the wire is known as 10-2 underground. That's all I know. Like, the wire is underground with, it's whatever. I don't even know what type of grade it is. I guess it would be 10-2 underground so that it can survive like all the things that it's exposed to. Like, you don't have to put the wire in like a conduit, I guess. I don't know. I mean, maybe we do. Maybe we cut corners. And the thing is, I said to Jim, because he had said to me, he goes, I'm not an electrician. And I'm like, oh, motherfucker, I've been calling you an electrician for years. How come when I said it then, you didn't say, I'm not an electrician? Cole says, that wire only good for 30 amps. Those trailers don't need 50 amps. Correct. You're right about that. That I do know. So I'm filling dirt back in. Maureen says, is this wiring into the pole above board, like legal? I don't know. I didn't ask. That's a great question. I'm assuming it's legal, but not whether or not it's up to the word, I guess you hear from time to time, is code. That I couldn't tell you. Amy says it's probably legal for up north. Oh, yeah. Well, they don't even have power up there. This is Crawford County, Michigan. Without a doubt, the poorest county in the entire state. I'm the only guy with power. It's just me. The power company just looks at my... he just shut it off. He's probably fucking around there. Nick, who is, in fact, the most skilled electrician that you can possibly find, says permits are for communists. All right. So I'm like doing my thing, holding like screws, and then we get to a point where my hands aren't needed. So I'm like, I gotta keep this moving. I need to keep these people happy. What can I do? Make food. Actually, I made breakfast for Jim when he came in. And I want to make sure this guy stays happy and has a full belly. We get to around lunchtime. And it's like, hey, we got two things. I can warm up a piece of pizza for you from Swamp. Or, because we got a pizza before we left. Or turkey sandwich, lettuce, tomato, cheese. What do you choose? Turkey sandwich. Turkey sandwich. Doesn't crack a smile. Turkey sandwich. Okay, I'm on it. Be right back. Come back, turkey sandwich. He's fed. He's happy. Eric, Eric, I need PVC glue. I can't believe I forgot that. He's one of these guys beats himself up. I go, don't worry. You got to go into town and go get me some PVC glue. I go, you got it. I'll be back in half an hour. Now the end of the world. Kenny says he talks like Batman. No, I mean, he's super serious. He's hyper-focused. I mean, he's not super serious all the time. He's super serious on this day because he wants to get his shit done and get the fuck out of there. I don't blame him. We have a big spool of this 10-2 underground wire. We're talking many, many feet. It's my understanding that the pole that is farthest, okay, you got the power pole, and we've, we're installing 5 of these places where people can plug in their motorhome or their travel trailer or whatever the hell. I learned that when running this line down, it can't be more than 100 feet. It should be 100 or less. Typically, from what I understand, I did learn this, that if you get over 100 feet, there's some term, maybe one of you people who knows this type of thing, that happens to the electricity that is, it's like less. It's like not as strong as it should. That's it. That's the term, voltage drop. Thank you, because he said, we got to be less than 100 feet or we will have voltage drop. I go, sounds good to me. Move the pole in. Okay, sounds good. Put the 4x4 in the ground. My job, one of the other grunt work jobs that I have in addition to being an extra pair of hands and serving food and going to the hardware store for these guys who actually work for a living. Charity Scam Mike says, he goes, those bags of Quickcrete are 80 pounds. I put them in there. I'm not getting them out. And I said, that doesn't matter. I'm strong as fuck. Now, he left them in the trailer, and it rained all night. The bags are wet. He goes, don't worry. They're plastic. I start to lift this 80-pound dead weight. I'm going to take this 80-pound and put it on my fucking shoulder because I'm a bitch. And I'm going to walk it over to where this 4x4 is in the ground, the pole that's just under 100 feet away. As I'm lifting it, the bag disintegrates because it's not plastic, you fuck. It's paper. And all of the Quickcrete is like, now it's a pile. It's gone. It's out. It's out of the bag. I go, uh-oh. I go, everybody's stress ball Jim's like, oh my God. Not a problem. Guys, silver lining. Silver lining. I got a bucket. Now I'll just scoop it into the bucket with my shovel and we'll carry it over in batches, the 80 pounds. That's going to be less work. It's good that this happened. Pour the Quickcrete in. You know, when you're putting a 4x4 in the ground like this, something else I learned. You just put you don't even have to you don't even have to add water to that shit. You just put it in the ground. And then over time, the moisture from the ground, kind of goes into that fucking thing, into the Quickcrete, and then it turns into concrete. Fuck yes. Did all that shit. Tyler says, spilled Quickcrete everywhere? Good. It'll be easier to haul it in buckets. It's true. Okay. At one of these points, I'm digging in the ground, and actually the ditch witch, it hits something in the earth, and I take in this part of where we're at, there's rocks everywhere, rocks and sand, and they're always super round. The rocks. They've been in there for some time. A lot of pressure has made them almost like big fucking basketballs of rock. But one comes up that it looked different than any rock I've ever seen pulled out of the ground there in the years that I've been at this place. And I've seen on Facebook like videos of guys with like a pickaxe and they're chipping away, and then all of a sudden they like pull out this big fucking rock. And then the video cuts to them like cutting it with a special type of a spinning disc with water on it to kind of cool down the cutting process. And then it's like a beautiful, you ever see fucking Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler? It's like that. You look into it like, what's the fucking basketball player's name that looks into it? He's like, oh my God, look at that. I'm so good at basketball. I need this thing. What was that name? Kevin Garnett. What a movie, by the way. Uncut Gems. Fucking A, you've got to see it. Now, look, and as I say that, of course, Tyler says, great movie. Kenny says, that movie sucked. Ending was awful. The ending was the best part. Of course you think that movie sucked. You think that the worst things anyone ever seen, Ted Lasso, is good. You are the outlier. You realize that. You are the one that's alone on Poor Taste Island. You know? You like shitty TV. You like shitty music. Obviously shitty movies. And probably women covered in shit for as far as I know. I mean, my God. The worst taste of all of any audience member is you. Kenny says, one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Want to get depressed? Watch Uncut Gems. Yeah, not every fucking movie that's ever made is full of big moments when Luke Skywalker comes in and says, ooh, I can save the little fucking green puppet. Ooh, I'm a fucking child. You idiot. Anyway. There's this big fucking weird looking rock. What the fuck is this? He goes, I don't know. The ditch witch didn't like it. I took the shovel and I chipped off a corner. Because it's all like crusty and shit on the outside. And, take a look at the inside of that fucking thing. And I go, that looks very unique. This like matrix of stone. And it wasn't like translucent or anything like that. But it was, I'm like, huh. Stong, that's Charity Scam Mike, he goes, hold on a second. Let me see that fucking thing. Okay. He goes, dude, we're rich. I go, you're fucking crazy. He goes, well, maybe we're not rich. But this is something that requires some investigation. This has to be, and he says, taken into town. I'm like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean taken into town? He goes, dude, trust me. We got to go to the Indian store. I go, the Indian store? What the fuck is the Indian store? He goes, you never been to the Indian store here? I go, no, I've been to the Indian store. He goes, it's run by Indians. Okay. And he goes, they've got polished rocks everywhere, pulled out from the earth here. They're going to see this. And we're going to ask them what this is. And maybe, just maybe, it'll be worth $1 billion. I go, I don't, well, maybe, yeah, but fuck. Amanda says, Beverly Hillbilly vibes. Now, so we're fantasizing that we actually just hit some type of rarity, some type of rare stone that is going to net us billions of dollars. And then if that happens, if it is worth something, then we're like going to mine the whole area. And basically all we'll do for the rest of our days is live up there, sit by the fire, smoke and drink, and then guard the property. And then when we get bored, we'll go dig up another $1 billion in the soil. So I've got this big fucking thing. I'm so excited about it that I left it up north on the fucking porch and forgot about it. I actually brought it into the where I could put some water on it. And I put water on it, and I'm like scrubbing it with an old toothbrush. You know, like, oh my God, it's Uncut Gems. It's it. It's the big moment. I'll keep you updated on this. So, we get done with the Ditch Witch. We got to have it back by 4:30. You got $200 for 24 hours. You can cut up anything you want. Take that fucking thing back. And then when we come back, it's like 5:30. Jim is literally finishing up. He's closing the boxes. We now have a fucking RV park when it comes to power. So the stage is set for this weekend. The place is going to be packed. At last check, I had 24 or 25 people that will be on the property. Okay? And 10, count them, 10 dogs. 25 people, 10 dogs. It's going to be an absolute blowout. Mike, for the past 6 months, has been fishing for walleye and perch out of the number one fishing lake in the world, Lake St. Clair. According to him, that's what he said. I go, so which one of the lakes, I'm thinking Great Lakes, is the best to fish in? And he goes, Lake St. Clair. I said, that's not one of the Great Lakes. He goes, it's the greatest lake on the planet, on the planet. You don't say in the planet, on the planet to fish in. He goes, you go to a dock around Lake St. Clair and you see license plates from all over the U.S. just to fish there. It's that good of fishing in Lake St. Clair. This guy knows everything there is to know about fishing. Charity Scam Mike. He knows how to use a ditch witch. He knows how to fish. I got a picture of him. He just caught a, what the fuck is the name of that fish? Not a sturgeon. Some giant fish he caught. Fuck, it was huge. I'll get it later. Doesn't matter. So that lake runs in between Lake Huron and Lake, I don't know. I think it goes Huron into Lake St. Clair, into the Detroit River, into Erie. I think that's how it works. But it's fucking sweet. And he's just been fishing for walleye and perch. So we have all of this amazing fish for the big fish fry. I am the fry cook. I informed him about Bosco's. We bonded a lot. That's it, a muskie. You got it. He goes, those things, Mike says a muskie. Those things are freshwater barracudas that got teeth like fucking crazy. It was a muskie. It was so big, I couldn't believe the size of that fucking muskie. So while we're at Fear Bunker North, I'm having a conversation with him. He goes, did I hear right? I go, what is that? He goes, you're working at a restaurant? I go, yeah. He goes, why? Are you broke? No, I'm not broke. Well, two reasons. They're both as equally important. One, I have no contact with humans outside of, I talk to dogs all day. I'm enjoying it. And second of all, Madison's in college. It's an absolute fortune, this college that she goes to. It's ridiculous. And I don't want her to have a penny of debt. My financial obligation to the children ends at weddings and school. Female weddings. You know the tradition. The dad of the bride pays for the wedding. And we hammered out one wedding. That's done. And one education is in the books. And now here's the second one. Jim opted not to go to college. So we gave him a car. This is the last of the obligations. This is what you do. You work your fucking dick off while you can for your kids so that you've improved the odds that they will wipe your asshole when you get old. So I go, yeah, that shit's fucking expensive. Amanda says more like flunked out and took your money. Well, yes and no. You make it sound a little bit more harsh. He wasn't into it. He figured out pretty quickly higher education wasn't for him. He wanted to get down and dirty in the workforce. And I said, that's up to you. Please don't tell me you're in school anymore making solar system projects. Kenny says she summed it up rather accurately, I thought. Yeah, I know, but we're trying to keep everybody in the family happy. You don't need to do that. Let's just, save it for your own podcast about Eric's kids. Fuck. All right, maybe you're a little bit right. So he goes, well, so what do? Do you like host karaoke? Do you run trivia at the restaurant? And I go, no, I make French fries. He goes, you asshole. I go, no, yeah, it's fucking great. I love it. I'm a fry cook. What's wrong with that? He goes, oh, nothing. I go, no, it's terrific. I love it. He goes, what's the place called? I said, Bosco's Pub. So my job at the fish fry is fries. I am on the fries. I don't even eat. Mike and I take this fucking thing so seriously that we don't even eat. And everybody goes to the food, so much food, that we have to actually set ours aside to make sure that we get some. Because they're like wild dogs there at the Memorial Day fish fry. We have 2 family fish fries. Memorial Day, Labor Day. Chris says, have you heard from Bosco's? Yes, I worked there, not this past weekend, but the one before that. I heard from Doug over there. He goes, just tell me when you want to work, when you can work. No big deal. Like, whatever. I thought he was ghosting me for a second there. So that's what's up. Now, the stage is set for this fucking event. Like I said, we got all these people going up there. And so I approached the NFK and I go, hey, we're having a party up north. Big Memorial Day fish fry. Everybody wants to see you. And my lovely brother-in-law goes, oh, yeah. I go, cool. Everybody gets to go. And my extended family on my dad's side, they love the NFK. And who wouldn't, And but I know that doesn't confirm the attendance. The enthusiastic response from the NFK of, oh, yeah, does not necessarily mean he's interested in going. Because the chain of command for things like this in this household is, I ask, he says yes, and then he turns around and occasionally he will say to his sister, I don't want to go. That happened this time. And that's just how it works. That's just how it operates in this house. Because short time later, she comes up to me. She says, yeah, I don't think he's going. I go, oh? Yeah, he says he'll go when there's less people there. Whatever. Now, he's been to the event before. And he said he loves it. I don't know. All I can do is ask, would you like to go? All I can do is invite. And you say yes or no. You will not hurt my feelings either way. Okay. Now, here's where it gets, I don't want to say dicey, but I've said this before. I get an odd feeling in my soul when I am not able to give you brand new shows of the Eric Zane Show podcast. Wednesday of this week is my last show because this is the long weekend, Memorial Day weekend. I am going up Thursday. So I am busting my ass getting all this shit done. Now, I already have planned for you. First of all, yesterday I uploaded 6 Patreon episodes. I'm not kidding you. It took me 30 minutes. I say this because there's been a lot of talk about our old pals FBHW and their inability to consistently post their Saturday show up, which has a ton of people divided about work ethic and whether or not they give a shit about something that those people pay for. But you need to know. And then one dumb idiot says, it's Saturday. We can't expect them to post it on a day off. And then Logan in Maine said, "You fucking idiots. Do you think someone actually wakes up Saturday to do that? No, it's all done in advance. Yes, you schedule it." Yesterday, I sat here from 8:25 to 9:07. I remember I looked at the clock. 42 minutes, and I scheduled 3 editions of the Lost Zane recordings, the one that dropped today, this coming Friday, and on Memorial Day. I also uploaded 3 episodes, Thursday, Friday, Monday, of While I'm Away. Each of those a 3+ hour show for you to listen to on Patreon. No other description needed on that show. If you know, you know. 42 minutes, I uploaded 3, 6, 9 hours, 12, 15 hours, 18 hours of material to Patreon. Don't you dare tell me that there's no way to consistently post our content, you fucking cheat motherfuckers. All right. So there'll also be on the free platform 3, count them, 3 editions of Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast. Again, thank you for your patience. But this is one of 2 big events that we do. Here's how it looks this year for me. I've got this coming week, you'll get some best of material and While I'm Away material. Thursday, Friday, Monday. And then 2 weeks after that, I'm going to Pennsylvania. So there'll be a Friday show that is not the best of. I'm going to Pennsylvania for Matt Barassa's wedding. Matt and Amanda. I'm actually marrying a listener. Very sweet couple. I'm driving there to marry them. I am the officiant. Oh, my God. And then there is the end of June, early July trip that we are taking on you'll miss out on a Thursday, Friday, and a Monday show, I believe. So that's it. That's pretty much it. Maybe a few trips up north here and there. But, I like you to be aware of these things and know that there'll be plenty of material there for you. But, again, I like to put up material for you. I wish it was fresh, but it can't be. All right, so that's what's up. A busy, busy, long weekend for your pal Easy last weekend for working. And then some fun coming up this week. I even went to the store yesterday, to get like curtains for the old trailer because my stepmother, Joanne, and dad are going to be in there. That's going to be where they're going to stay in the old trailer. When I walked in there with Charity Scam Mike, it had been a week since I had been up there. Not one trap was sprung. No mice. 0 mice activity. So I may have found where they're getting in. Holy shit, that's exciting. Welcome to anybody who may be a new audience member. There's been a lot of scuttle going on across the street on my old show's subreddit that I did not have anything to do with, though I'm being blamed for it again. Listener Patrick consistently posts things like, "Hey, check out the show." And there appears to be a few people. Hold on a second. Got a dog wandering. Come here. Hey, no. Ah, fuck. All right. The puppy just went potty on the floor, so I am going to take her outside. I should have gotten up when she got up to get a drink. I will be right back. All right. Holy cow. The dog, Darla, she's been having a digestive deal. And it's like the dog hasn't had a solid number 2 in days, like a long time. And so I had it. It was bad news. I thought maybe she's allergic to something. I don't know. I changed her food. looking much better. Thank God. Like, I was so surprised. She just went potty, and I was like, oh, my God, it doesn't look like a fucking snack pack pudding or hot fudge. Jesus. Thank you to B-Toll, B-T-O-L-L-E, for subscribing. Appreciate you. All right. When I walked out to go check on her. No! Oh, God! Yep, she had peed. I knew it. As soon as she vanished, I was like, oh, this isn't good. Yeah, she'll get it. No big deal. That's what puppies do. They pee in your house. Maureen asks about the old school trailer. Is there a working bathroom in the trailer? You mean a toilet? Well, there is a bathroom. There is no plumbing. There is no water coming in. So we have bottles of water, big milk jugs full of water. And there is a portable toilet. In fact, I'm pulling out the old toilet that doesn't work and putting the portable one where the normal one is or would be. I'm just hopeful that while my dad and my stepmom are in there, that they're comfortable. And I'm not so sure because the windows that are there are so drafty that whatever the temperature is outside, it's the temperature in there. Now, I've got heaters, but they just don't do that great of a job. Because Charity Scam Mike slept in the front part of the trailer, and I slept in the back, and he's super cold all the damn time. I am not. I slept in the back with no heater. Was perfectly fine. He did not. And then when I see him in the morning, he goes, sleeping here is the same as sleeping out in the grass. That's how cold I was. Like, oh, fuck, don't tell me that. My dad's going to be here. So I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. Okay. Wow, that is a lot. So I am so happy that you're all here. And I just wanted to say that if you are watching the show, Facebook.com/Eric Zane fan page, or Twitter @Eric Zane Show, or on YouTube, I'm going to send you off on your way. The rest of the show is on Twitch, and I've got a lot of ground to cover. Okay? So I'm going to say goodbye to you. Or if you want, you can listen to the audio podcast wherever you download shows. Just search Eric Zane Show. I'd appreciate everybody, no matter what you're watching on now, to subscribe to the audio podcast, whether you listen to it or not. Because believe it or not, I get internet points with every subscription that on a free platform subscribes to the Eric Zane Show podcast. So that's all free stuff that you can do. It doesn't take you any time, and it helps me. So please, please, please. Okay. Meanwhile, if you ever want to say hello, drop me an email, eric@ericzaneshow.com, on the Shoreliners Striping inbox. Those folks stripe parking lots in and around West Michigan. Reach out to them, shorelinersstriping.com. I have a Patreon where there's so much content available, including this week, the debut of Who Are These Free Beers, where Ben and I will review clips of the Free Beer and Hot Wings show and critique them and roast them the same way I do Who Are These Zanes. There's been some discussion about EZ and Ben doing Who Are These Free Beers. And that has centered around, no one's heard the bit, really. We've only covered a couple of segments, part of the pilot here. And so not exactly a well-known show, Who Are These Free Beers? But most of them on our pals that the Free Beer and Hot Wings show subreddit make it seem like I'm obsessing on them and I'm butthurt. And it's like that couldn't be further from the truth. This is a review show. if you think I'm going to sit there and just attack them because I got fired, you're fucking crazy. The point of this is to tap into the incredible amount of complaints on their own subreddit. Point those out and discuss the problems with the show. It's not all problems. There's plenty of good things that happen on that show. I mean, obviously, it's a very popular show. But who better to critique the show than two former employees? Okay? So that is the idea behind who are these freebeers. This first episode, we're going to focus on a topic on their show that caused a tremendous amount of outrage. It was when they sat down and said, all right, here we go. This segment right here is the best way to load the dishwasher. That actually happened. We also need to unpack they did a therapy session in the month of April on their segment 17, which is the so-called time that they have no shackles on them, no constraints to the FCC, and it turned into a big therapy session of things that bother them from their audience, and I want to talk about that, and also how they do business now with this. They have a what's called a coach, which is something I always winced at when I was there. We had a coach. Greg said, I think we need to spend the money and get some coaching. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Are you fucking kidding me? And this idiot's name was Randy Lane. And they're all the same. Every consultant or coach is a failed morning guy who then somehow weasels his way into getting radio shows to trust him. And then the radio shows pay the coach thousands of dollars to give them shit to do that they already know how to do. Their other job is to tell the show that's hired them how great they're doing so that they'll keep paying them. So back in the day, Smug Beer says, hey, I think we need to hire Randy Lane. And I'm like, who the fuck is Randy Lane? And so I'm like, oh, whatever. Okay, great. So that means once a month we have to waste time and talk to this idiot in a conference call. And I'll never forget it. I told this story recently, but it was like, okay, first thing you guys need to do is, and it's something really Radio 101. In order to punch up the bid, if you're talking to a guy who got stabbed by his dog, why don't you play a song that has to do with stabbed to set up the bid? Okay, great. We already do that. And then the next time we talk to him a month later, he says the same exact thing. And it was at that point, I was like, dude, why are we giving this guy all this fucking money? He's an idiot. We know more than him. He's telling us how to do radio. He doesn't even work on the radio. He used to. He doesn't because he sucks shit. And now you're taking advice from him, you fucking idiot. Oh, my God. Well, anyway, these guys now really rely on this new coach who also sucks and tells them to recycle their bits and to rip shit off Reddit and make it seem like it's people writing in, and it's not. It's all fucking fake. So Ben and I explore those things and point out the shit that, again, not all shit, but I don't care about the stuff that's not shit. I only care about the stuff that is shit. The point of the show is to make you laugh. And oh boy, are we. But that got, oh man. So there's all sorts of fucking butthurt assholes surrounding this segment. And there's a lot of talk about who are these freebeers. And I owe it all to Patrick in South Carolina. Patrick is the dude who, massive fan of their show, and finally realized that it's shit and came over here. And to him, it's like my show is like a brand new toy to Patrick. You know, you wake up, you can't fucking wait to play with the Bionic Man when you first get that thing in 1976. That's your reference of the day from EZ. No one knows what the fuck that means. So that's what my show is to him. So he's very bullish about it, and he goes out of his way to bring it up on their subreddit. And now everybody hates him on the subreddit. Oh, my God, is that awesome? My point is, this is all on Patreon. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. Thank you to a number of people who signed up over the weekend. It was great to be up at Fear Bunker North, and I believe 4 of you did just that. One person signed up for a full year on the audio, which saves you 10%. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. Let me see. I actually want to mention their names, and I can't type today. That'll be Brian S. Thank you. Not to mention Joshua. I appreciate you. Matt. And there's one more. Dan. Thank you, Dan, for signing up on Patreon. And that's way, I mean, I don't get a lot of people that often on my Patreon. If I get 5 people a month, I'm happy. It is not the biggest thing. We're looking at just under 200 people on my Patreon. But it does help immensely when people sign up for it. It's one of the many ways that I keep the lights on. So if you like the free programming, the point is, when I started this show, do the free programming as much as you can and promote Patreon on it. And for people who need more content, they'll know it's there. That's how it works. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. So for you folks on, I know this has been really long-winded about me, and I hate doing that, but Twitch, Facebook, and I'm sorry, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, I'm going to kick you guys out. Thank you. Let's see here. Corey writes, when someone makes a new thread on the subreddit, notification pops up in the Discord server. Thank you, Corey, for running the Discord. Cole says maybe Saint Gasslight will be a coach. That's the other thing that got a lot of attention over the weekend. When I posted the little thing about how it appears someone with Joe's name, who used to live in Joe's city, took 2 PPP loans, which are intended for small businesses to meet their payroll. This person, Joe Gassman, out of Grand Haven, Michigan at the time, took not 1 but 2 PPP loans to pay for payroll for radio stations. That's what it said. You can see it on my Facebook post. You go to facebook.com/Eric Zane fan page. It's all there. I didn't make that shit up. Two PPP loans, which is supposed to take care of, like, Doug over at Bosco's, who suddenly he can't feed people and make money or pay his employees. That's what that money was set aside for. Now, unless Joe owns a radio station or has some type of business, he has no business applying for that money. So what I'm suggesting is someone from the Department of Commerce needs to look into this. And I know just the guy who can tip them off. Me. It's only right. If I knew that any of you may have possibly mistakenly taken a PPP loan, I'd be the first one to throw you under the bus, you motherfucker. That's not for you. You asshole. I'll keep you updated. But I'm not letting that one go. Radio Voice Linda says radio consultants are the worst. They turn all shows into the same thing. Vanilla. Chris from Buffalo writes, whistleblowing Zane. Big fraud. Big whistleblowing Zane. I'll blow the shit out of any whistle. Fuck you. Kenny asked me, didn't you almost do that too? Didn't I almost do that? What are you talking about? I, first of all, have a business. He does not. If I did, it would have been legitimate. It was being offered to your old pal EZ. It wasn't done. I didn't do it under the idea of, hey, I already have a job. It was for people with employers to make payroll, right? Exactly. And no, seriously, because he says employees. No, I'm definitely an employee. I'm an owner, operator, and an employee. Kenny's trying to pin me down, and I did the same thing. You fucking asshole. First of all, I have a business, and it was being offered. Thus, I'm entitled to it. I turned it down because business was brisk. But if I had taken it, I would have been 100% allowed to do it. So you can kindly fuck off. You fucking scumbag. Shut up. My God. Who the fuck you think you are? Dumbass. Go listen to shitty music and watch your gay shows that everybody hates. Hit the road. All right. Nice try, though. I appreciate that. Twitch and Facebook brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. Twitter brought to you by Blue Frost IT. I don't know what the hell Bruce is doing back there. What are you doing? You all right, buddy? He always looks like somebody just stole his birthday or something. The open and live stream of the Eric Zane Show podcast brought to you by the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. If you need a mortgage from anywhere in the U.S., this is who you call. Mario, 231-332-6505. Now, if you've owned your home for a little bit of time and you need some money out of it to do something like pay off a high-interest credit card, and God forbid if that is the case, because the interest rate is just ridiculous right now. People are paying upwards of 25% or sometimes more on a line of credit. So if you have even just a few $1,000s in credit card bills, I mean, the amount of interest you're paying each month it makes it very difficult to pay that down. Get the money out of your home and pay the principal, all of it. And then pay 6-7% as opposed to 25%. And you're paying that loan that you took out of your house, your refi. You're paying that back over 30 or 15 years, depending on what you choose, which is, I mean, it just makes so much more sense. Get out of the credit debt immediately. Like right now, do whatever you have to do to get out of the credit debt because it is such a swirling eddy of despair. Once that's out of the way, don't use the card anymore, for God's sake. Take care of that right away. 231-332-6505 with Mario. I just saw him on Saturday at the West Michigan Ironmen football game, which I got a story about that coming up in just a second. You can do this from no matter what state you're in, with the exception of South Carolina, Maine, Alaska, and Hawaii. 231-332-6505. Thank you to the Kent County Health Department. Oh, my God. If you or someone you know or love is having a hard time feeding the family, reach out to the Kent County Health Department. 616-632-7200. That's 616-632-7200 for the Kent County Health Department. They will help you get everything started on the WIC program. Again, it might not be you, but it might be like maybe a family at your kid's school or something like that. They might not be aware of the things they have at their disposal to help keep the family fed. More information can be found at accesskent.com/health. My friends at Sarah Honda Granville want you to reach out to them and test drive a brand new Honda car today at Sarah Honda Granville. They are right in West Michigan in Granville along Kennewa, just north of 44th Street, next to the Cracker Barrel. SERRA, Sarah Honda Granville.com. Honda vehicles are fucking amazing, and they keep getting better. Go check out for yourself the brand new Hondas that you can test drive today. Now, the way the car industry works now, because I haven't been able to figure out why, but it's been explained to me, but it never makes sense. The way you buy a car these days is you test drive it. Yes, I want to buy it, and then it shows up 2 or 3 weeks later. It's like custom-made car, depending on what you want. For some reason, the manufacturers don't send all of the inventory and sell it off the lot. They do it like as the orders are made. I don't know. However, at Sarah, they have Michigan's largest selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. SarahHondaGranville.com, and those are like new, a year or 2 old, still under warranty, and awesome. Go drive home from the lot today at Sarah Honda Granville. All right, listen up. I always sit up a little taller when HelloFresh partners with the Eric Zane Show podcast. Look, HelloFresh is cheaper than grocery shopping. It's also 25% cheaper than takeout. Because if you're going to prepare a meal like this at home that you're going to get restaurant quality food through HelloFresh, you're going to have to go to the store and buy all these giant bottles of ingredients, which are probably going to sit in your home forever until they expire, and then you throw them away. Not so with HelloFresh. Everything is pre-portioned for that meal. Shows up at your house. You look like a genius. The food is fantastic, and everybody is going to love you. I am not kidding you. I've never been so sure about something. HelloFresh.com/Zane16. When you go that route, you use code Zane16 for 16 free meals plus free shipping. HelloFresh.com/Zane16 and use code Zane16 for 16 free meals plus free shipping. You're going to love this. Try it. And the month of May is perfect because HelloFresh is celebrating Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. So you can try limited time, authentic recipes created in partnership with an amazing chef by the name of Serbi Sani of New York City's Tagmo restaurant. So you will be able to do that in your own home. I'm not kidding you. Do this. HelloFresh.com/Zane16. Promo code Zane16. 16 free meals. What have you got to lose? Plus free shipping. Try it today. HelloFresh. Amen. All right. Jesse writes, I love when these people cry about liberals giving away money while they ate up those PPP grants like candy. Oh, my God. Big time. Chris from Buffalo laughing at Kenny and the exchange between Kenny and I assume. Kenny says he's cracking up. Johnny Chronic is new. Welcome, Johnny Chronic. First time chat. Looks like he's trolling. Donut Dan from the Dirty Donut says, good for you, Eric. The Dirty Donut was completely canceled, and we did not take a PPP either. Sir Bob of Oliver says, are all of the pets listed as your employees? I could maybe get away with that. All right. So there's also been a story about the debt ceiling. Now, I really wish. Now, if I were the president of the United States, this is how I would start a press conference. Hello, welcome in. I am going to define what the debt ceiling is. I'm going to explain what's happening. This is as far as I've gotten on debt ceiling. As I understand it, the government, in order to pay you for Social Security and Medicare, Medicaid, and I guess pay the employees of the government, they take a line of credit from taxpayers. That's all I know. I don't even understand. Is it like, all right, in order to pay off all of these monthly Social Security checks, Medicare, Medicaid, and government employees for this month, we're going to borrow from you, and then when all of your tax money comes in, then we pay for it? That's what pays for it? I am not sure. Because no one takes the time to explain the logistics. And when you look it up, all it says is what I just said. It's a government borrowing from people. Well, I need a little bit more of a deep dive on that. What the fuck? And what is debt ceiling? Are you saying that once you get to a certain amount that you've borrowed, you can borrow no more? You've put like a self-imposed cap, I guess. I mean, maybe now again, I don't claim to know any of this. I'm spitballing here because no one's taking the time to explain this to your old pal EZ. It would be like if I'm running the household here and it costs a certain amount of money to keep the lights on, feed the dogs, pay for soap for the NFK's ass. And I actually set a limit of, let's say it's $2,000. I want to raise my debt ceiling to $3,000. Well, I can't just raise my debt ceiling because I don't have the money to pay $3,000 a month of the money I'm making in this hypothetical situation. So this is more like just questions from me to you. And I don't know if any of you have the answers to what I'm suggesting, but if any of you are listening to this audio podcast later on in the day, and you could explain this in idiot terms, very basic, rudimentary things, I might be able to get a handle on it. Because I would venture to guess that if you did a deal where you walked around the city with a microphone and said, tell me what the debt ceiling is. Tell me, basically just give me the Reader's Digest version. 10 out of 10 would not know anything, and they just make shit up as they go and not know. If I'm going to be invested in this fucking story about debt ceiling, I need to know shit, and I don't. I have no fucking clue. Corey says, I thought it was just a limit on how much debt the country can be in. We had the limit. We have to shut down non-essential programs to start paying it back. Who are we accruing debt with? I thought it was very simple. Why can't it be like this? And maybe it's supposed to be like this. The government runs entirely on money from the taxpayers in order to be awesome, in order to make this the best place on the planet to live. And then that's it. Who are we accruing debt with? That's something I need to know. Corey adds, like, for instance, if you set a debt ceiling for yourself, once you hit $20K in debt, you can't borrow anymore and you have to start making cuts. Okay, so if we're in debt, who are we giving money to? Thank you, Wolverine Bronco, for signing up with Prime. Corey adds, the government doesn't need to operate like a person or business. Like, for instance, we've spent trillions of dollars on war and shit. All right? If you can at least barely pay your bills, Capital One will raise your debt ceiling, says Jesse. We're in debt to other countries. I got another comment from Jimmy. Federal Reserve. I don't know. I'm fucking clueless. Johnny, who's brand new, Kenny suggested that he tell a little bit about himself. Kenny, that's very kind of you. Despite trying to pick a fight with me today and get me all agitated, that was a good question to ask that person, Johnny, about how he found the Eric Zane Show podcast. Johnny writes this. I've been listening since 2004. Wow. Haven't listened to any morning shows in quite a while, but obviously my interests were perked by the PPP loan thing, and I miss Zane. So here I am, longtime follower, first-time chatter. Okay, Kenny, give him the overview about what the fuck he's got to do. Follow, subscribe, all that shit. I know you're just fucking with me, you dumbass. Well, no, seriously, Johnny. Yeah, that's fucked up about the PPP loan. If that's true, that's really fucking weird. People often ask me, why do you do those things? Well, I'll start with when I post shit like that, it's interesting. It's something to talk about. If someone from that show murders a cat and gets caught, that's interesting. As heinous as that is, it's interesting. I'm going to talk about it. If it's discovered that someone from that show took a PPP loan to pay employees that don't exist, that's fucking interesting. I'm going to talk about that. Move on, Eric Zane. Fuck you. I have. I've absolutely moved on. I've been doing a show from my fucking room for 4.5 years. This comes easy to me. And if there's something interesting about one of those motherfuckers that I used to work with, you bet your goddamn ass I'm going to talk about it. Fuck off. Kenny writes, link Prime if you have it and subscribe each month, and then you don't get annoying ad interruptions. It's worth it. Cole says, what if someone from that show murdered a hamster? Shut up. Someone signed up on Patreon recently and said, Eric Zane, will you tell the hamster story? And I said, for you, I will. For you, I will. Johnny adds the PPP saga. It's very interesting, especially something so shady from a guy who's been playing the pity card for years. I need help. I love you, Rachel. Oh, I need help. I'm sorry I ruined Thanksgiving. She's so kind. Oh, that fucking thing. The Chicago suburb gangs hurt me. I was a little boy when you made me do stunts. You asshole. Somebody needs to smack the piss out of you. My hamster, Buford. One of my first pets I ever had. I had hamsters when I was a little kid. I loved them. Remember one got lost and never found it. Somewhere in the fucking basement. It's probably still there. That's not true. They lived like 2 to 3 years. When they've croaked, I've just found them like stiff. And I'm like, oh, God. Horrible. I've had bad luck with hamsters. By the way, to tell this story, it's going to cause a nightmare at some point. When I was a little boy, my fucking dad, we'd go to his house, Jim and I, my brother Jim, we'd go to his house for the weekend. He'd pull up in his Caprice Classic that's with a license plate on the front that said God. He has a perm, silk shirt, blazer, Silk shirt buttoned down to his navel with his chest hair hanging out. He wants to take us to go see Close Encounters or some shit. It's a summer day. My mom says, bring your hamster. She wants to make sure my dad stays up all night with that wheel banging against a fucking side when that little fucker's running. Dad picks us up. It's 95 degrees out. We drive to Showcase Cinemas in Sterling Heights, Michigan, long since gone and forgotten. We go in to see Close Encounters. We come back. The car is so hot when we open the door with the windows rolled up. A blast of heat hits us. We have killed the fucking hamster. I'm sick just talking about this. I'm like 9. IMKO says, holy fuck, how have I not heard this story before? Yeah, fuck you. It's been told before. It's not my fucking fault if you weren't here. And I remember, he was in there for a long time, like 2.5 hours. A long-ass movie. Do, 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 do. And the little guy's eyes open. My dad blasts the air. But we're not like, the car's not moving, so it's just blasting hot air on him. He's so dead. Oh, that just makes me fucking sick to think about. My dad, I was a kid, so I blame my dad. This is like when you hear about a family leaves a baby in a car. I know that that's possible. Whenever I see someone who leaves their baby in the car when they go to the movies, I'm always very sympathetic of that drunk or stoned mom and dad who left that baby in there. Because I did that. All right? Now, I wouldn't do it now as an adult because I'm not retarded. But those people are, and I'm sympathetic for them when they kill their babies. It's horrible. Well, anyway, so my dad immediately goes, we have a dead hamster, and he goes and buys another hamster. Like then. Like an hour later, we're in the pet store. Rich, getting ahead of us, says, what about the hamster you tried to euthanize? Would you shut the fuck up? I'm getting there. My dad gets a new hamster and puts it in, and the dead hamster's still in there. And the new baby hamster is like, what? What is going on here? The fuck? He's like, hey, wake up, fucker. Let's play. I didn't even know what happened to the old one. He might have just pitched it, but that was fucked up. So now here I am in college. Diana and I have our first pet. It's a hamster. We moved into this apartment where Radio Voice Linda's son lived at like a year ago. Still there. In fact, Pellerito, back in the day, before he was revealed to be a psychopath, sent me an aerial satellite image of the place. Like it encircled the exact spot. That's it, Deerfield Village, where it all went down. Oh. I come walking into the apartment, and the hamster doesn't look good. And either the butthole or the vagina of the hamster has this gross green sludge that is like accumulated on the outside of it. So this is in its body trying to get out. And I even called a vet looking for hamster care. They said, that doesn't exist. It's like a goldfish, in the eyes of the animal world. You could just flush it down the toilet. It's going to die. And I'm like, oh no, better get drunk. I start cracking the bush and drinking, I realize I have to euthanize a fucking hamster. I'm not kidding you. The thought went through my head, putting it in a shoebox, cutting a hole in the side of the shoebox, and attaching it to the gas pipe or the tailpipe of a car to give it the old gas chamber treatment. But I don't have the engineering skills to pull that off. So I said, fuck that. I'm just going to go somehow with blunt force trauma kill this thing. And I did. I was successful, but boy, not without. This is horrible. I put it into one of those like a Meyer bag, a plastic bag with the looped handles. And I walk into the parking lot over to this wooded area, and I'm very upset. I want you to know I hate this fucking story, you assholes. I get over to the wooded area, and I swing it round and round like David and Goliath has a sling when he and so I do that, and then I let it go, and it goes straight into the air, as high as the highest tree in this little patch of woods. And the trees are very thin there. They're not big trees. And one of the looped handles actually goes on this little branch at the very tip top of the highest tree and just goes pluck. And it doesn't even start to come down. It just goes all the way to the height of its flight and then Cole says like Thor's hammer. Yes. And then it just grabs it, and it's just hanging there, and it's kind of swinging back and forth, and I can see him in there, and he's more than awake now, and he's kind of moving as much as he's going to move because he's very ill with green hamster vag slime flying out of him. And he's very much alive. And I'm like, holy fucking shit. I have to scale the tree. I have to climb it. And this is not a very climb-worthy tree. It's the kind, I actually have to kind of put my feet on it and my hands on it and just kind of like scale it like somehow. I was very strong. And I managed to get halfway up it, but I'm so high that the branch, the trunk is thin. So I'm kind of rocking back and forth on the tree as the currents and the airflow is moving. And I'm trying to shake it. And then finally there's enough, and the little thing slips off, but the bag now is breaking the fall. So it falls, but it's just kind of like a soft landing for the hamster. He's fine. And he's on the floor now of this little woods. Fucking cutting up my hands as I go back down this fucking thing. And now I'm frustrated. And I just gotta fucking smash him. I gotta smash the fuck out of this hamster. Holy shit. Jimmy writes, were you thinking this would be a great story for the podcast? No, fuck you. I didn't have the chops then to be able to tell a fucking story to save my life. I get down, I pick him up, and I'm like, really give him the fucking Thor thing. And then instead of throwing him straight in the air, I throw him straight like a Nolan Ryan fastball. And I let him go, and he goes flying, and he's like, holy shit. And then he hits a tree and explodes. Smash-a-rama. Like the white bag, it's fucking looks like Marvin's head in fucking Pulp Fiction. Oh no. Kablamo. And then I ran away. I didn't check to see if he was dead. Nothing. Chris has never heard that story. He's never heard me on the radio. We picked up Chris after that happened. Jimmy asks, is he all right? Well, I guess he could have been all right. Fuck me. Nick says this all could have been over in a 1 second boot squish. Yeah, I know. I know. I'm kind of not wired that way, though. For some reason, I thought this was more humane. No. This is horrible. I think me telling the story, I'm basically admitting to a crime. Motherfucker. Chris says, and then EZ signed on to the mobile home of rock and roll for the night. I don't know if I did because I was only part-time then. I don't think I was a full-time employee. I don't know. Maybe. I was hammered, though. But I wouldn't put it past me to drive to work drunk with more beer in the back. Fuck. All right, that took a lot out of me. I'm not going to lie. Savage sack lunch with a stupid joke. Hamster was begging for Richard Gere. Yeah, I don't know if anybody gets that anymore. Sucks being an animal lover. Jimmy writes, yeah. Later that day, when he got his senses back, the hamster crawls out and lived happily ever after in the woods. Maybe, but I doubt it, Cole. I doubt it. All right, so whoever the fuck that was on Patreon who signed up and said, I have one request, that you tell the hamster story. There you go. Thank you to Rick from TC Paintball. TCPaintballGR.com. Summer's virtually here. Of course, both. You can play outdoor, indoor, but pretty much everybody's playing outdoor now. Outdoor on the airball field, outdoor on the village. Always a great time for you or your group. What an entertainment destination. TC Paintball in Grand Rapids, Michigan. The letter T, the letter C, paintballgr.com. Schedule a party with your friends, your coworkers, your bachelor party, maybe your bachelorette party. If you're a bunch of hillbilly bitches, tcpaintballgr.com. Love it so much. No offense if you're a woman playing paintball. They actually have like a women's league that they do where hot chicks shoot each other. Thank you, tcpaintballgr.com. Fully stocked pro shop. Everything you need at TC Paintball. Love my friends at Johnson Carpet One Discount Outlet. If you need flooring for your home, this is where you get it if you are in and around West Michigan. And the reason why it's worth the trip to go to Johnson Carpet One Discount Outlet. It is the lowest price for flooring anywhere because no other flooring facility has a discount outlet. All they have is a showroom. And then you sit down at a computer, and there's like a sample of it there, and they show you what it's going to look like in your room. And then you go, oh, great, let's get some. They go, okay, we're going to order it. It'll be here in 5 days. Well, it costs more to order it by the job. So what they do at the discount outlet is they just buy all the best brands and just put it on sale, and you go and pick out what you want. It's going to sell anyway because they're the best brands, the most current styles. That is part of the discount outlet from Johnson Carpet One. So lowest price in Michigan. Take an additional 10% off of that lowest price when you mention my name. There you go. Johnson Carpet One, discount outlet. Thank you. Berlin Raceway. They're racing again this weekend. They had a great time this past weekend. If you want to get in on checking out the races at Berlin, buy tickets online. BerlinRaceway.com. The next race is Saturday for the Memorial Day festivities. If you are a senior, a current or former member of the military, you get in free. This is a 6:30 p.m. start, and there's fireworks. Tickets are $14 when you buy them online. Okay? So old-timers, military, and veterans get in free. Everybody else, $14. 15 and under, free. Parking, free. Fireworks, 6:30 start time. For more info, BerlinRaceway.com. You can bring in a 12 by 9 cooler. with all of your essentials to snack on and soft drinks. And no glass in that and no alcohol. You can get plenty of alcohol inside, and it's very affordably priced. Because, usually you go to a venue, it's like $12 a beer. It's very affordable. It's the most affordable beer cost at a venue in all of the state of Michigan. That is a fact. So what we have here at Berlin is the most affordable family fun anywhere at berlinraceway.com. Okay, some boxing brutality I'd like to share with you. Some Japanese dude named Nakatani, he's the one who knocks out the dude Maloney. Don't know the first names, doesn't matter. First of all, Cole writes, Dear Meathead, I have a friend that painted a tree with a hamster brains. Is this person a Mickey Mouse? Please embellish. Jesse writes, quote, someone told me you paint houses. That's a reference to The Irishman, which I'm starting to like that now. I hated it when it came out, but now I'm starting to like it. Okay. Audio check, video check. Japanese dude, this Nakatani, is going to knock out this Maloney guy. You can tell which one is Nakatani because he's Japanese. Now, Nakatani is going to throw this left. And if you're just listening to the audio podcast later in the day, you'll have to download this video. I will put it in the show notes. Nakatani is going to throw his left right when Maloney here drops his right. He drops his right down, which is a huge mistake, in order to throw his left. He really wants to get into his punch. Meanwhile, just as he drops that right, Nakatani's going to throw that left. And it hits this guy so fucking hard, it's being called the knockout of the year. It's so fast, you won't even see it. But just keep your eye on Nakatani's left. It's going to happen quick. Here we go. Oh my God. You don't even see it. You don't even see it. It's so fast.
Oh my! That was devastating.
Did you hear the impact?
Oh my! That was devastating. He is laid out.
Okay. So look, now the ref is like, oh wait, we need help here. We need help. He's bleeding from his eyes and his nose. He destroyed his fucking face.
In brutal fashion. Absolute devastating dynamite power by Nakatani. And now there is a situation in the ring with Maloney. They need medical attention in there right away. That was as brutal of a single
He is okay, but right now he's fucked up. He's going to wake up in a second.
punch as you will ever see.
My gosh.
Watch his legs. That's all you need to know. Watch the legs.
Here we go.
Flick jab. Stand getting range.
There goes that right. His right goes down, and Nakatani's looking up. He sees his target. Here comes that left.
Sees him coming in.
Oh, no. Oh, my God.
Perfectly.
Oh, boy.
Head off the line, looping left hand knuckles pointed down.
Holy shit, did he knock him the fuck out?
It's as powerful of a single knockout punch as you'll see in the sport.
Oh.
Side physicians and the local doctors are well equipped to observe situations with.
They needed to get a reporter in there and do an interview right now with this Maloney dude. Because he's down. Say, hey, what's going through your mind right now? Where are you?
Fighters more
He says, Candyland.
so than any area in the country. And that will be the case for Andrew Maloney, as that's an excellent sign that he is sitting upright. And he is
Oh, he does not know where he's at.
aware.
Wow. Holy shit. I just need to see that in real time one more time. I think. If I can. I don't know if I can. Replay. Oh, no.
Oh, my! Oh!
Oh. Dude, that is so fucked up. What a way to earn a living. Holy shit. Whew. Maureen says the reporter sounds like the fucking breaking news kid.
Breaking news!
He does. He absolutely does.
What's just called a snow day?
I kind of want to do it, but no, it's too much of the moment has passed. Even Eric's hamster would have been like, oh shit, after that left hook. Thank you. Holy shit, his legs just give out. Sounds like a hamster hitting a tree, and now he's dead. Pretty sure he's murdered. Yeah, that was impressive. All right. Okay, some of you may know the name Glenn. Wait a minute. Let me back up. You may know the last name Schembechler. That is the name of a super famous, now deceased college football coach, Bo Schembechler, who coached at Michigan forever. Eventually retired, eventually passed away. Okay. But his name is historic with the school. So his son, Glenn, had found his way in coaching too. I'm not sure where exactly. This story will probably tell where he's been, but he's done some work for a number of either schools or maybe pro organizations in the coaching ranks. Nothing too elaborate, but just the name is important if you're associated with the school. Now you got to understand, there are people who have gone to Michigan, and then the alumni and shit like that are like the donors, and a lot of prominent people have gone to that school. It's quite an institution for higher learning. A lot of famous engineers went to that school, and doctors and shit like that. People with money. So they're all happy. The hey, go blue, fucking fight on, Mason Blue, hail to the victors. We got you. We got a Schembechler. Glenn Schembechler is now with the football program. We just signed him, and now he's fucking fired or resigned. I don't know. It doesn't matter. 3 days after the fact. How? Well, social media. If I ever get hired somewhere and they went back to, I don't know, 3 hours, they could find something that I could be fired for. A little different with me because pretty much all of it. If anybody said, hey, Eric, I want to hire you, I say, okay, yeah, I'm a fucking idiot and everything I say is stupid and a joke. So it's all there. Have at it. If you have a problem with that, let me know before we draw up the paperwork. Glenn Schembechler didn't go through with a fine-tooth comb his social media, and now he's fucked up. He's gone because I guess there was all sorts of racist shit that was posted on Twitter, and you don't even have to do anything other than like something. If someone says, I hate black people, and you like it, you're fucking fired, and you should be. You're a goddamn racist. All right? If you hit the heart or the thumbs up when someone says they hate black people, fuck you. That's what old Schembechler did, I guess. 3 days after Glenn Schembechler, Bo's kid, was hired, he resigned. Hold on a second. Stand by. Hey, I'm live on the podcast. Who's this?
Hey, this is Chuck from Borculo. I just want to say you got the best podcast in the business.
Wow, Chuck from Borculo. He sounds like whenever Bill Simonson does an impression of someone.
You're right, Zane. All my impressions sound like the same Brooklyn guy.
Yeah, it always
every single one. I can say it's an NHL player,
Yeah.
NBA player. That's a good point. They all sound like the same guy.
Yeah, it's always one of the jerky boys.
The jerky boy. That's it. Or the practical jokers. It sounds like one of those guys.
I love it. Every time I'm listening to the Huge Show, I'm like, he's imitating, I don't know, Rosa Parks' sister. And it sounds like that.
What are you doing, man? How's your podcast going?
It's funny you called because I am talking about Shemmy Schembeckler right now.
Well, here's what I'll say, Eric, that when they discovered or when it came out, I don't think they knew and kept it secret. They got rid of him, let him resign, which I don't agree with that. But, he was there 4 days, whatever it was. I think if they would have kept him on, then you'd have a major issue. But he really had a title. And because of his name, I think it's almost like, boosters pay for most of the coaches. But once they found out his, Twitter feed, which, again, to everybody listening, delete.
Yes.
Because it affects your job. People look at it. They can, and there's no context. I will say with the blue check mark, you can edit and bring context to things where you get more, you get over 280 characters to explain or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And but back in the day, there were things, Eric, you remember when you were starting in Twitter that, I never went shemmy.
Well, no, absolutely. I was just talking sorry about that. If anybody ever put the paperwork in front of me, I'd say you need to go back like 1 hour because I called somebody a horrible word. It's all there. I'll just admit it and get out in front of it.
Yeah, but here's where I'll say this: if it's racist, if it's violent, if it's a video of you slapping around somebody or doing something borderline breaking the law, I can see where someone has to let you go. But all these people piling on Michigan saying, well, you got to vet everything. Well, do you go through everybody's timeline on all their social networks before you hire them?
If they're smart, they say, Glenn, we're hiring you, so delete everything now. Just delete it. Just shut it down. Now, look, I one thing I'm curious about, because you said he shouldn't be fired, but the story is the post he liked was an insensitive post, including one suggesting slavery and Jim Crow had the positive effect of.
No. I'm saying that I didn't say he shouldn't have been fired. I said they let him resign.
Yeah.
Where they should have fired him.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I wanted to clarify.
Oh my God! You almost just took what I said about taking stuff out of context.
I thought you were saying, "Oh yeah, they should have let him stay on."
No, Zane, that's what you do for a living, Captain Twister.
Yeah.
I mean, no, when they discovered it, they moved on him. And again, you get lawyers at a school that big. Do you fire him? Does he then say, hey, you're taking away my right to free speech? So they tell him to resign so they don't have to worry about lawsuits.
Yeah, right.
That's what happened.
Well, there you go. So he's gone now. Sometimes that happens. You remember when Urban Meyer became the coach of Jacksonville and he started hiring like felons and shit the second he started? He hired that dude from Iowa. I mean, that happens.
Well, you know what? And look at Urban Meyer at Florida. If you look back at it, I think, don't quote me, I'll give a ballpark number, but when he was coach at the University of Florida, the Gators, I think he had like 80 guys arrested during his tenure.
Oh, that was their best years, too. That's what you need. You need guys like that.
Well, and this is where, my advice, and I've said it to my kids, And again, we're in the media, so it's even more a bigger microscope. That you got to be careful. One thing you say on Twitter could haunt you. Snapchat, Facebook, whatever could haunt you for the rest of your life.
That's why I never say things that aren't true about Bill Simonson online.
Oh my God, Zane! That's why you do your own podcast. I mean, my God. Zane and Lori debuts later this weekend, so I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, can you imagine that? Oh my God, the Zane and Lori show.
You should reach out and ask her to come on.
Oh no! Are you crazy? She hates me.
You should put Rob Brand on about his career.
Yeah, Rob Brand had to. Now I don't know if you saw this, but Rob said first he had his last show, and then he announced that they offered him a lot less money. I don't know if you saw that one.
Yeah, I saw the post. A lot less money, which is the corporate way. We know radio. A lot less money, but they wanted to give you another title. Took away power, give less money, kind of like what Biden's doing right now in the White House. When Rob Brand, he just said, we know Rob. Rob worked as hard as anybody I've ever been around. He was amazing. He was, the voice of the Huge Show when I was across the street. And I just think, I believe Rob, do a podcast, talk about rock and roll.
Oh my
all
God!
that stuff.
You know what? His voice is so sweet. Holy shit! Every time I hear him, I get hard.
Okay. Well, again, we evolve sexually in our lives as we grow older. So that's your business. But I tell you, to lose Gates, which you got Michelle, you got. Who else? Who's the last rocker there? They don't have anybody, do they?
What do you mean?
Who's the last original LAV rock and roll man or woman there?
Well, I mean, no one's original. I mean, after Buck passed and Tony died, now Rob
is Aldrich still filling in or doing nights?
Steve is not on. There is no one from the inception of LAV. Rob wasn't from the inception, but he was still such a history that, I mean, he might as well have been. And, that's about it.
Yeah, radio, that's why I work with the Independent Network and with Marty Boer, Michigan Sports Network. You do your own thing, which is fantastic. And this is, if you look at where it's going from Joe Rogan to podcast to whatever, that you got to have some connection to your own world to really have longevity and survive in this business. And that's why I feel confident that if I wasn't doing my show, I'd turn and do a podcast tomorrow and move into that sector. But I've just maintained, bounced, around across the street. And I think what you've done is amazing. And I believe Rob, just with West Michigan Presence, could do a podcast. But also the reality is, Eric, as we all get older and you've given a life of 20, 30 years to radio, whatever it is, you get to that point of, do I want to go when I'm nearing 60 or late 50s? Do I want to go and bust my ass for 10 more years? Or do I want to enjoy my life and my family and my friends, right?
Yeah, I hear you. Hey, my dog just bit my nose.
Is that the new little one?
Yeah, it hurt like fuck. I think it drew
blood. Why are you so angry this morning? Did you go up to Gaylord to the militia camp?
I did. I'm going up there this week too.
When you coming back?
Wednesday's my last day, and then I'll be back on Tuesday.
Hey, you want to fill in next Tuesday, Wednesday for my show?
Maybe, yeah.
All right, let me know.
Okay.
Look at your schedule.
I will let you know. It might be tough, but I'll let you know if I can get my ducks in a row. I'd be happy to.
Well, if you just got back by 1 o'clock or whatever, let me know.
All right. Hey man, I appreciate it.
Podcast. No, good stuff, man. Hey, one thing. Check out the video of the parent attacking the basketball referee down in Fort Wayne over the weekend.
Oh, I always love those. Those are when I love sports the most.
This is him and the ref are going at it, swing haymakers.
Oh, shit. All right, good.
I posted it at Huge Show on Twitter. Check it out, all right?
All right, get out of here.
All right, love you.
Love you too. Yeah, Darla bit my nose and actually drew blood. Look at, there's blood all over this fucking thing. Oh. I wish she wouldn't bite so much. You know how when puppies are... Thank you, Bill. I appreciate that. God damn, she bit the fuck out of my nose. Oh. All right. I'm going to wrap this shit up and then give myself some first aid. Right there, you can see where she got me. Right on my beak. You see, as I've described to you, she has no chance at honey bunny status if she keeps biting me. I just got texted. Okay. Fuck. Anyway, let me just wrap this show up. Thank you to Dirty Donut. By the way, that's the end of the story about Schembeckler, the fucking dummy. He's out. He's liking racist posts. What a fucking moron. All right, I'm wounded. I've had more blood leave my face than that boxer who got punched. My puppy bit me. Thank you to Dan, Donut Dan, for marketing his Dirty Donut Race on the podcast. Dirty Donut Race is fast approaching. How many people you got signed up, Dan? It is June 3rd in Martin, Michigan. Sign up for the Dirty Donut Race. It is Michigan's #1 gravel road race. Holy cow. Stop. Oh, stop. Jesus. Put you down. Go pee wherever you want. I don't even care. Don't bite my face anymore. DirtyDonutRace.com. If I sound muffled, it's because I'm holding a fucking paper towel up to my nose to get it to stop bleeding. The nose is a very sensitive area. It bleeds easily. When you mention, or when you at checkout type Zane23, it's a coupon code. Save $10 on the race. 10 mile, 21, 41, and 61 miles. Prizes. Every donut you eat, you take 5 minutes off your time. It's a fun, family, and very enjoyable event. The Dirty Donut Race doesn't kick off, June 3rd in the morning. DirtyDonutRace.com. Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. That's who you call when the vehicle breaks down. Jackie just did. She's got her car in there. 616-532-6600. Thank you so much. Great team over there. ER Vines. ERVines.com for Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. And then, of course, Joe Martinez. A&E. Holy cow. 616-516-8579. Summer's here. You need to get that AC tuned up. I just had David, which is Joe's son-in-law, show up and do that work. Handsome David. Almost as handsome as Joe. 616-516-8579. If you pay $20 extra, you can get Joe to show you his guns. Your AC needs to be tuned up every single year. If you don't have this done, you're making a huge mistake. You're rolling the dice on potentially having a catastrophic breakdown that can fuck up your life when it's 105 degrees out and hot as hell, and your wife hates your guts because you didn't get the AC tuned up and it broke down. 616-516-8579. The asshole of the day today. Well, this is a first. It has to be my puppy Darla for biting my nose on camera. Brought to you by TC Paintball and drawing blood on my fucking nose. Jesus. All I do is take care of her. All right. That is it. The show is done. Kenny was thinking the same thing. Darla for drawing blood. Yes, she is the asshole of the day. We still love her, but my God. That hurt like hell. Thank you, folks. I appreciate you. I'll be on Patreon just a bit. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. Talk to you down the road. Thank you.